Lamplight presents Secrets of the Singer Girls by Kate Thompson, narrated by Anne Dover. Chapter 1. Spring, 1942. From the outside it looked like any normal East End factory. But as Poppy Percival allowed her pale blue eyes to travel up the imposing brick exterior to the jumble of soot-stained chimney stacks, she wanted to turn on her well-polished heels and flee. Instead, she stayed rooted to the spot and nervously twisted a lock of her soft brown hair tightly round her fingers. Gracious! It was a sight to turn her pounding heart to stone. The building's brickwork was scorched black from 1,000 Blitz incendiary fires, and the high windows of the former workhouse looked as forbidding as the gates of hell. As twilight bled across the jagged rooftops, a steady rain began to fall. It wasn't crisp spring rain like the type you got in the countryside, Poppy thought uncomfortably. This rain was thick and black, as warm as sour milk, and it coated everything in its path with a dark sheen. The cobbles under Poppy's aching feet were a soupy, sulphurous mess, and the factory shimmered like an oil slick. 16-year-old Poppy had travelled a long way from the country estate in Norfolk, where she had spent the last 2 years working as a scullery maid. She had left that morning at the crack of dawn, bundled onto a steam train at King's Lynn by her harassed mother, who worked as a lady's maid at the same grand home. "Don't be shaming me, you hear, my girl," her mother had muttered, as she'd swung the heavy train door shut behind Poppy with a resounding thwack. It had slammed so hard it had almost drowned out her words, but not quite. "And remember, no more scandal." With that, her pinched face had disappeared behind a swirl of smoke, a bit like a dragon who's blown off too much steam, Poppy had thought at the time. She kept that thought to herself, of course. She would sooner carve off her left leg than cheek her mother, especially under the circumstances. The rest of the doors had slammed shut, and they had departed, chugging their way through the lush green Norfolk countryside and away from everything Poppy had ever known. The gentle rhythm of the train had soon lulled Poppy into a deep sleep. But when she had awoken, it had been to sights the like of which she had never before seen. St. Pancras Station was charged with energy. Soot-blackened locomotives slid majestically into their platforms, where billowing...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?